Hello, this is lesson 1.3 for pre-cal 11. Prime factorization and exponents. And this is you doing powers with whole number exponents. And this this should be review. Because this is grade beginning of this anyways, grade 10 stuff. All right, so in math, we use exponents as a short way to write repeated multiplication. So instead of saying 2 times 2 times 2, we say 2 cubed, or 2 to the power of 3. And we can also use variables, do exponents with our variables. So we can talk about the volume of this cube is length times width times height, which is a times a times a, and we can write it as a3, which is the exponential form that's here. A power is what we call it when we have something to an exponent. This whole thing's called a power. The base is the bottom bit. It's the number that you are writing or multiplying by itself repeatedly. That's the base, and the exponent is how many times you are doing that. Oops, I wanted to use the green color for that one. So the green is the how many times that's the exponent. How many times are you multiplying a by itself? And the whole thing together is called the exponent. The power, I'm sorry. All right, so for each of these, we're going to state the base and the exponent. So I'm going to do the exponents first. So this is the exponent. 6 is the exponent, and y is the exponent. And then the base, 4, Microsoft updated this over the summer and they improved it, made it terrible. So the base is 4. Doing this in blue. The base for this one is -3, and that's really important because in this one we're actually multiplying -3 times -3 times -3 6 times. And here the base is x. All right. Another important vocabulary term is coefficient, and that is what we're multiplying a variable by. So in this expression, 7p cubed, the coefficient is the 7. So take a minute and see if you can identify the coefficient in each of these. Pause the video and then start it back up again. All right, the coefficient here is 8. Here it's -3. Here it's 1/7 because we can write that as 1/7 times a to the power of 8, or you could put that over 1 if you want. So the coefficient is 1/7 because that's the number we're multiplying it by. Okay, note that now this is really important, the difference between 7p cubed and 7p all cubed, because the rule that the way I do this is the exponent only affects what it's touching. So in this case, the exponent is touching the p, so the p is going to be multiplied 3 times, but the 7 is not. Whereas in this case, the 7p is in brackets, so we're going to go 7p times 7p times 7p, because that's what has to be multiplied by itself 3 times. And then what they've done here is expanded it out, get rid of the brackets and just go times, times, times. And now here we've sorted it, so all the 7s are together and all the p's are together. So this becomes 7 cubed, which is 343 times p cubed. Okay, so pause the video, take a minute, do these questions as well, and then come back and check your answers. Okay, here are the answers for example 3. See how important it is where the brackets are. They really, really matter. Just for clarification here, this is saying write as repeated multiplication, and it hasn't asked us to simplify because this example is just trying to make a point. Normally, if you're asked to expand something, I'm going to want you to group things together or simplify them or something. I'm probably not going to ask you to do repeated multiplication, but I can't promise that, so just ignore me. Okay, evaluating powers. This is 10 cubed, so that means it's 10 times 10 times 10, and that is 1,000. So evaluating something means, what does it equal? And we want that in simplest terms. So I don't want it 10 cubed, I want 1,000. Okay. This one is 3 to the 4, so that's 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. That is 81. This -6 squared, so this one, the negative's inside the brackets, so we're going to go -6. That's the base, is -6. So -6 times -6, that is going to be a positive 36 because there are two negatives. This one, however, the 2 is only affecting the 6, and the negative's just kind of hanging out there by itself. You could think of this as -1 times 6 squared. So this is now -6 times 6, which is -36. Okay, so again, those brackets are super, super important. All right. This says for the 0 exponent, so something to the power of 0. So you would have covered this in grade 9. So if we look at these exponents, the exponent is going down -1, and then -1, and -1, -1. So we're continuing the pattern that the exponent is going down by 1. And if we look at this side, each time it's dividing by 10. And that's dividing by 10 and dividing by 10. So we're going to do that again, and we're going to divide by 10. That means that 10 to the 0 equals 1. And if we do the same thing on this side, the exponents again are going down by 1 each time, but this time we're dividing by 3, which makes sense since that's the base this time. So divide that by 3. If we take the exponent down again here, this is 3 to the 0, and 3 divided by 3 is 1. So we can see that there's a general rule. Any exponent, any value to the power of 0 equals 1. So any real number to the power of 0 equals 1. So take a minute and actually let's just do these together. So 6 to the 0, that's something to the 0, that's 1. Anything to the 0 is 1. This one is a little bit trickier because remember the 0 is only affecting the 9, so this is going to be -1. And this time the 0 is affecting the bracket, so the 6 squared becomes 1, so this is 2 times 1, which is of course just equal to 2. Okay, I'm going to pause there. You go ahead and do assignment questions 1 to 7. Bye. And then come back for the second part of the lesson. Bye.